Peace, family. I hope you guys are happy and healthy and doing well. We're at mommy's house, so we're gonna do kind of a little bit of an update slash maybe a mini tour. I came over to get some groceries. Today I was just looking for an easy lunch and dinner. Actually lunch. I was like, let's go to grandma's house and pick some greens. We'll go to the African store and pick up some plantains. And my daughter was like, can you do that ×2? And can we eat it for lunch and dinner? So I was like, yes, because today I want to can some juices. I've got work to do. We're homeschooling, all the things. So I came over here to plant a few herbs for mommy in this bed. The bed is rough because why? Because we've been just throwing chop and drop and sorry about that. We have been throwing Mexican sunflower leaves, longevity spinach throwaways, you know, all kind of kitchen scraps and leaves and stuff in here to try to build back up the nutrition in this bed. As you can see, it's getting cooler. So this is a curly kale. That one looks happy. And this is dinosaur kale. This one is just crawling away. But today what I did is I came and planted some parsley in here. Parsley did really well in mommy's yard last winter. And I also planted her some 2 rosemaries. There's one here and one here. And those shouldn't die off for me in the cold, and I'm hoping they get bushy in the spring. They really don't take much care as long as we water everything else around them and there's some nutrition in there. They should be fine. So before I show you guys some more stuff, I want to tell you, when I came over here I was like, hey mommy, I brought some herbs I'm gonna plant in your yard, and I came to get some groceries, girl. And she was like, uh-oh, Auntie Chica just came from here this morning and she got some food. And then I know last week our auntie Nana came over and got some greens and stuff, and there was still food for me to get. But I was just excited of how excited she was. Mommy really loves having this garden and being able to share food and feed family. And so I don't know, that's just making my heart so full and so happy. I have this garden over here for her because I want to feed her and our family as well, but I think it's bringing us more than I knew that it would. So anyway, y'all, this longevity spinach, I'm not cutting this down today, but I'll be back like tomorrow to cut this back. I think we're going to put the avocado tree right here and then try to do a cold covering tomorrow because it's supposed to get colder. And I'll show you guys. The avocado is actually looking pretty good. We moved it into this big pot recently. I'll look up how long ago it was. I think I wrote it in my gardening journal. But as you can see, it's got so much new growth. It looks very happy here. So excited about that. This tour is kind of all over the place, but the guava is in here. Last I checked, it was doing well. Okay, I'm gonna go on the other side because on the other side there's a spot where I can stick my face in. I'm gonna stick y'all face in. So you can see the guava looks great. It looks great. It's happy and healthy. We did plant some pansies down there, some yellow pansies before we close this up. And I also planted some seeds in here, which I can't really see or tell if those are growing. But the comfrey is huge and happy, and I'm pretty sure I will probably have some comfrey babies to dig out of there in the spring. But so far, I like how this is working out. For the guava, this frost cloth is just enough to me because unlike greenhouse plastic, it lets some water in. It lets a little bit, it's a little bit breathable. So we can just keep that covered. It's been covered since the day we covered it. And it also lets in a little bit of sun, you know, just enough. And so I think everything in there is doing really well. This is the bed that I harvested out of. And as you can see, I don't know if it looks like I harvested out of it to you guys, but I did. This is one collard green plant that has expanded, and we let it. And as you can see, us and all the aunties eat off of it. So we're very blessed by that. And then this is 2 red Russian kales that I also just harvested off of. And they're doing great. In this bed, I have some plans of using the back of it a little more next year. I did have this bed a little more full. Oh, you can see a zinnia has volunteered itself here, which is exciting. I think those are the yellow zinnias that I just had here. I did just harvest all of the peppers off of this cayenne pepper plant. I'm hoping it survives. Uh-oh, I see I missed one. I'm hoping it survives because I do love this pepper plant, and it was harvesting. It was harvesting. Oh, I broke it. It's been producing. I broke it, y'all. Where's the booty? I broke it and broke some stuff off of it. There we go. Sorry, flower. It might have died back anyway. Where did the top go? Well, I'm probably going to put this one in some food. I'm going to taste it and see how hot it is. A lot of times with the hot peppers... Oh, look at that. Somebody had bit it anyway. Had bit that booty. I'll leave the booty in here. A lot of times with the hot peppers, if you pick them green, they're not as hot as they are when you pick them red. As you can see, the alubu is always glorious. This bed is definitely in transition. I just pulled the last dried up okra off of this one, and I missed one up there. So we can pull him out. We pulled all the rest of the okras out. I did plant an Ethiopian kale in here, so that should get nice and big and happy. Should be cold hardy, I think. If not, I have some little things that I can cover that with. Mommy's big old peppers are still doing well. Well, this one is. This one kind of looks like it's dying out a little bit. And this one is somewhere in between. We are going to cut this back. When I planted it, I didn't know they got this big. Mommy does love it. But I'm just going to cut it back to give us space to do everything else we want to do. And then the longevity spinach is crawling all through here. I'm going to pull it out. Not today. But I'm going to pull this out of this bed because I just am not able to maintain it the way I would like to. I would rather put more sweet potatoes and more winter squash in there. I like how they crawl all around up under the other plants and they cover the soil up, but they also go ahead and die all the way back. Like the longevity spinach will keep on rerooting and spreading, and I don't necessarily want that in that bed. So hopefully we'll get more winter squash and sweet potatoes next year in that bed. My passion fruit is looking beautiful. This one did die back in the cold last year, so tomorrow, this is another thing I'm probably going to be trying to cover up. Probably add more mulch and stuff down in there and some nutrition, and hope that I get some passion fruit from this beauty next year. What else? Alubu, of course. We did look at this. Let's go this way. Oh, the berries. I've got to learn how to prune our berries, you guys. I don't actually know how to prune raspberries. I'm sorry, blackberries. These are blackberries. There's 2 in here. And as you can see, they've expanded so much. I definitely need to get some type of trellising going because they're all inside the blueberry. The Poe blueberry is just getting taken over by them. So I'm probably going to try to like do some kind of trellis system for that up there. This one is doing like really well, which is exciting. Oh, look at the pomegranate. The pomegranate is almost taller than me. Not almost, it's taller than me now. It's grown so much. We've got Brussels sprouts. I don't know if they're actually gonna do it for real. I have never successfully grown a Brussels sprout, but we shall see. And we're just eating these as greens now. You can see they're all picked over between us and the aunties. They done picked over them. Pull this yellow stuff off. My oregano's looking good over here and bushy as usual. And then our grape is starting to kind of die back, and I need to learn how to prune this. It has now started going like over the fence. And then last but not least is our peach. It's looking good, and we're about to build a tree guild for it. So I'll show you guys my groceries in a little bit. Peace. Okay, family, so here's our little harvest from Mommy's house. I got some Mexican sunflowers for a little bouquet. I got the last of these okra pods off of here. They are looking a little suspect, maybe a little moldy because it's been raining, but I think instead of keeping the full pods like I normally do, I'm just gonna break them open and lay the seeds out. Hope they're, you know, good enough and dry enough to work. I did get some peppers off of my cayenne pepper. I think there's a few more in there I didn't get a chance to grab. And then the rest of it is greens and red Russian kale, which I'm about to cook the leaves up right now to go with plantain. And then I'm going to keep the stems. I'm going to blanch and freeze the stems to keep for pesto. Let me know if you guys want to know more about that. I did make a TikTok about it, but I could do a longer video here on YouTube about it as well. I made a pesto with kale stems, and it was so good. The whole family loved it, and I was just so excited to learn another way to use the kale stems instead of composting them, kind of making more food out of them. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you are doing well. I hope you are happy and healthy. I hope you are still harvesting from your garden, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace. Y'all, before my phone dies, I'm back at Mommy's house harvesting before the cold. I think it possibly will get down to 35 if it hits 35. If 35 hits this longevity spinach, bam, it's out. So I decided to come out and go ahead and harvest what I could in a little bit of time that I had right now, so that we can put some in the fridge and freezer and share some with family and friends before the weather takes it out. So I don't know if you guys remember or saw the last video over here. I said I was going to pull this out, and I'm still going to pull it out, but I trimmed it back a lot. It was going all this way, climbing up in here, climbing up in the pepper. It was going that way too. So I trimmed it back some. I'm gonna trim it just a little bit more. What I did was just pulled out what I could. Now I'm about to get back in there with the scissors. But this is my pile so far between this one and, sorry, I hope I'm not swinging too fast, this one over here, which I know still probably looks super bushy to you guys, but I have cut so much off of here. I'm not going to cut it all. I like this as a ground cover. Even if it all dies, what it'll do is die right there, and it will feed the soil. It's going to feed our orange tree. It's going to feed whatever we grow here next year. So I'm keeping the fluffiness kind of around the base of the plant, not in the ground, not the roots, but just the fluff, the foliage that's kind of blocking a little bit of the cold, and then the foliage that's covering the ground, because if this wasn't growing, it'd be weeds trying to grow up out of there anyway, especially when the spring comes. So I'm going to cut this back a little bit more. I would say down a little bit more, just lower. And I tried to and I'm going to clean up these edges a little bit. That one's a little cleaner. So far, this is my pile. I don't even know if y'all can really tell how big this pile is, but it's a lot of food. I also came to cover 2 plants up. This is an Ethiopian kale. Last year, our Ethiopian kale died when it got too cold. And that one is kind of new, so I wanted to cover him up. And then over here, I have my cayenne pepper that did produce well this year. I cut him back quite a bit, and I just laid everything I cut back right at his base so it can die and feed him. And then covered him up with this. Everything else should be fine, I think. The berry bushes, they actually need some cold. The pomegranate will probably go dormant and come back in the spring. We're just trying to look around and make sure that we are paying attention to as much as possible. My husband is supposed to cover this avocado. It will probably come back, but some of the plants get set back so much when you let the cold hit them. So we might try to come and see if we can cover him up before my husband goes to work, because look at all that beautiful new growth. I'm sorry, why does it look blurry? There we go. It's beautiful, really. I'm gonna cut this top dead looking part off. But I mean, every little limb has new growth on them. So, and this is from seed. My husband started this from seed in San Diego. Let's see, and it's taller than me now. Well, when I cut the dead part off, it'll be about as tall as me. So I think it's doing pretty well. I actually don't know how long it takes for avocados to produce, but it's all about the journey too, you know. Even if it takes what if it takes 4 years and we're at our big property and we could put it in the ground? That'd be so freaking cool. Anyways, y'all, let me get back to work. I snuck out the house because we had a co-op party last night, so my kids tired. They still sleep. My husband works overnight, so he still sleep. So I'm over here at mommy's house just trying to make sure that we get all the food out of her yard, you know, that we've grown before it dies out. So I'll see you guys later. Peace. Y'all, look at mommy's Mexican sunflower. It's huge. I did not know they got that big when I planted this, but now I know. It's huge. We still have sweet potatoes looking good over here. Longevity spinach crawling everywhere. I'm probably gonna pull that out. Our okras are making seeds for us. We better get those old ones off before they drop the seeds. As you can see, they're drying on there. Yeah, it's looking good.